And we are live. Welcome to episode 89 of Player Life. It is Monday, the 29th of March here in Tokyo, Japan. Hope you all have had a good weekend. Um, another good day here in Tokyo. Nice spring weather. Um, Started off the week very well. Had a good workout in the park and feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. So um, yeah. So today I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of nightlife, day game, and online. They're basically the three main sources of how guys get women, and pretty much every guy, every healthy guy wants to get women. like um even beta guys, every guy all around the world, no matter what race, religion, every guy wants to get laid. Like every single guy. And it's just human nature. Nothing to be ashamed about. It's literally the most natural thing in the world for a guy to want to get laid. And I just lean into it. I just don't deny my human nature, and it's like it's worked out pretty well for me. I feel pretty good about it. I don't feel guilty about banging all these chicks. It's a good time. It's one of the best things in life, actually, banging a new chick. Um, so yeah, you guys should do it too. um, but yeah, I mean, there's the most important thing about is like actually sourcing women, and a lot of guys struggle to actually source women. Um, Nice try, Governor in the house. What up, bro? Caught you streaming while working for once. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Hope you had a good weekend. Um, yeah, so a lot of guys will actually struggle to source women, and a lot of guys don't understand that to source women, you have to put in a lot of effort, really. Um, or MLD in the house. What is up? What is good? Had an eventful weekend out on Saturday night with MLD. Good times, good and crazy times. Um, Subscribe. Max just hit 400 subs. 400 subs on the dot. Clean 400. If once it gets to 420, might have to. No, can't do that because I'm in Japan. Cannot be doing anything illegal in Japan. Straight edge all the way. Um, but yeah, someone can blaze up in your home country if it's legal, of course, only if it's legal. But yeah, um, so yeah, it's just important to be always sourcing chicks, like no matter what, if you're doing day game, online, or nightlife, you just if you're not like getting numbers, if you're not meeting new women, your pool is going to dry up, and it'll dry up real quick, because the reality is these women have options, man. These women have a lot of options. We got Richie M in the house. What is up, my man? What is good? um yeah, I mean, the real harsh reality is these women have like insane amounts of options. Like it's so easy for all a woman has to do is go online, download a dating app, and she just has an inbox full of eggplants. Like, just literally, guys will actually send like dick pics. Like they'll just inundate them with dick pics. I mean, especially even if they're not hot, like their inbox is going to be like, they're going to have a heavy amount of DMs, let's just say, a fair influx. Um, Jair, my man in the house, what is good? Had a good workout today with Jair. Good as always. Good as always. In outdoors, the way to go. Prison workouts. prison workout, prison style, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, skipping, burpees, getting ripped, fighting fit. That's what I like. So I like doing calisthenics because you remain agile. You get real ripped and you remain agile, ready to fight, ready to run, ready to escape, ready to climb. You know, keep the athletic physique. Um, Personally, I don't want the bodybuilder physique. I want the athletic, like the physique that you can, like, you're agile. Also, Chain in the house. What is up? What is good? Hope you're good. Um, yeah. So I just want to talk about the pros and cons of. Let's see. Let's start with. Let's start with maybe nightlife. Nightlife. Okay, so nightlife is hmm, probably the second most common way for guys to source women. I'd say number one would be these days. Number one, well, the number one way guys try to source women these days is obviously online, but a lot of guys are just it's just unsuccessful because they don't know how to do it. Uh, Sourcing women from online requires knowledge about how to use the dating apps. Unless you're a really hot dude, you can just get away with posting, a few selfies or whatever. Like if you're in the top 10% bracket, you can, you're going to be very successful online dating, and that's fine. You can do it. But the reality is, most guys are not. Most guys look average or whatever. Um, or even if you're above average, meaning over 50%, if you're if you're a 6 or 7, you're still going to struggle with online dating if you don't know what you're doing. You really need to know what you're doing. You need to have good photos. You need to have all that. Elta in the house. What is up? So yeah, so I'd say nightlife. Well, these days, obviously, we have the beer bug floating around, apparently. But here in Japan, I mean, nightlife's still a thing. So let's just let's just assume that nightlife comes back, and it's all good. We can all go out to bars and clubs like we can in Japan. Um, and it has to come back. It's going to come back. But so let's talk about pros of nightlife. Pros of nightlife. When you go out, I mean, you generally go out with your friends. You're usually drinking. I'm not a big fan of it, but a lot of people like to drink, like to relax, have a good time with their friends. Um, so I mean, the pros are that you can link up with your friends and let loose and have a good time. Um, Regarding the women, the pros are that they tend to dress like strippers, and we like us men like to see skin. We like to see women dressing like sexy. Um, so women dress up like when they go out at night, like you're not going to see them in normal environments. They're going to dress like, there's no other environment where they're going to dress so provocatively. You're not going to see them in daytime walking around wearing like a mini skirt with like 7-inch heels, like with cleavage out. But it's socially acceptable to do that at night for some reason. So they go out and they do it. So it's pleasing on the eyes. It's aesthetically pleasing to go out and be surrounded by hotties like wearing like like almost naked, right? It's an attractive environment to be around. Um, uh, it's a good, so that's a big pro of going of nightlife. I mean, you get to see basically strippers, average, girls that put a lot of effort into looking as hot as they can. A lot of girls will try and look as sexually appealing as they possibly can. So that's what keeps guys coming back to nightlife. That's what it's like, the candy, being dangled. Um, it's the thing, it's the honey pot. It keeps us like the bees coming back to the honey because when we go to a club, we're expecting to see scantily clad women like shaking their asses, and we're all thinking, okay, the immediacy of nightlife as well. There's the possibility of taking a girl home that night, which is very attractive to guys. Like we can get laid tonight. Like we can do it. We don't have to go on a date. We don't have to do this. We can, if we're lucky, we can get a girl and we can take her back and we can bang that night. So that's also another attractive. That's also another pro of nightlife. However, um, you know, obviously another pro is the fact that you can get physical, in the club or the bar, like dancing, girls like grinding on you, like you can. There's not really any other environment where you can do that. It's not very socially acceptable, like to go up to a girl in Daygame and then all of a sudden she's going to be like grinding on your crotch. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Let's just say that doesn't usually happen, but in a bar or a club at 2 a.m., no one's going to bat an eyelid if they see a girl like grinding her ass on your crotch. Like, it's like that's part of nightlife. That's part of club behavior. So that obviously keeps guys coming back. Um, so there's the social aspect. There's the drink. There's the letting loose with your friends. There's the immediacy of getting physical with these chicks. But let's talk about the. Let's see. Also, Chain says pros: ability to show big dick energy in real life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Big dick energy for sure. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. But I mean, the cons are all there's a lot of cons to nightlife. I mean, okay, so there's like when you go out, in Japan, it's not such an issue in Japan, but it's pretty safe country, man. I mean, it's pretty hard to get in a fight here. But in general, like Japan is maybe an exception. Other countries around the world, it's like even in Ireland. I mean, Ireland's not that dangerous. We don't, but still, I mean, we're known for fighting. I mean, like whenever I went out in Ireland, there was always like I might have to get in a fight tonight. Not because I go looking for fights, but just because it's that kind of like people change when they're drunk. Like I mean, it's people definitely change, so it doesn't mean they're even like tough guys, even people that aren't tough guys, they're not. Once they get that Dutch courage and they think that they're fucking tough as shit, and it's just easier to get in a fight in a nightlife scenario. In Japan, like I said, it's not that much of an issue. I usually go out and I've kind of lost that. I remember there's always like I remember in Ireland there was always that kind of anxiety a little bit, like oh it could be a fight, there could be a fight, because there's just that kind of crazy atmosphere where there's like a lot of people packed into small places and a lot of just a crazy mix of people. um MLD says I'm basically giving up nightlife after this weekend. Yeah, man, nightlife is it can get crazy. But yeah, I mean that's obviously a con. Just the fact that you have to like consider like having to beat someone's ass or defend yourself. You know, that's obviously a con. That's not normal. I mean, that's not something you have to deal with in other usually. But nightlife's a whole different thing. At 2 a.m., 3 a.m., when there's been people have been drinking whiskey, drinking beer all night, things can get wild. The other con is that you're actually you have to. I mean, it's expensive. It is expensive. I mean, hopefully everyone's in here is like taking care of their finances and shouldn't really care about having spending money on to have fun. But like, you can waste a lot of money on nightlife, like wasteful money, because at the end of the day, it's one thing to say you're going out to have a good time with your friends and do all that, but at a certain time, all the guys are there pretty much to get laid. Um, like that's you catch up with your friends, you can for the first hour or so, but after that, like the majority of the night is like you know it's actually revolves around you trying to get laid. And you spend a lot of money. You spend money on alcohol. You spend money buying drinks for hoes. You buy cover charges. If you get drunk, you start giving like crazy tips, like like you know what I mean. It's you know, and so you can kind of, it can be money like just not very well spent. It's like, especially if you don't get laid. Um, but LTA says body language and eye contact are big things for women. They thrive on it. Once all these restrictions get lifted, they're going to go nuts. I think so too. I think they are going to go crazy. But the other thing is, like, I still think there are a lot of women actually. There are actually a lot of women having sex, like, still, even throughout this pandemic, because there's still online dating happening. Um, I don't know. I'd love to know the numbers. Maybe there's a little less bedroom fun happening, but it's definitely, without a doubt, still happening. I mean, I've been doing it. I've had a good string of garden tools coming around throughout the pandemic, all throughout the beer bug. Um, these women are still sleeping with chads. Like, they're still like, that never stopped. Um, because of nightlife, I'm sure less because of the lack of nightlife around the world. I'd say there's like hundreds of thousands of pregnancies that have not happened um, because of it. But Sergio in the house says liquid courage. Yeah, liquid courage. I mean, um, my boy Jair, he doesn't drink. He wasn't drinking on Saturday night, and he's just, I love it because he's just the same as he always is. He literally does not need alcohol, like in any way, shape, or form. Just it's just better to have like courage, like just to, I don't know, over when you get really good at used to talking to women, it's not it's big. It's almost an insult to say that it's courage to talk to women, but I mean, then there's, I mean, yeah, liquid courage in terms of guys thinking that they can fight people that they ordinarily wouldn't try to fight. Um, Dutch courage. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's the cons are you spend money. Uh, you tend to, for the people that drink, they tend to drink, like, you know, guys tend to drink a lot. Then they're gonna suffer. They're gonna pay the price the next day, like with crazy hangovers. Um, and it's not really worth it when you don't even get it's one thing if you succeed and you get a woman to come home with you, but for a lot of guys, they don't, like, a lot of guys don't succeed. They don't actually get girls to come home with them. It's like, that's another reason why a lot of guys will drink so much, is because it's like they just keep drinking, and they think the more that they drink, the chances of them getting laid will increase, which, when in reality, the opposite is true. And I know that from my experience personally, and I know it from observing that happen, like friends and whatnot, where it gets to a point when guys they'll end up drinking so much that they won't even, like, sometimes they won't even recognize the signs that girls are interested in them. I always remember one time, one of my mates, who was a good friend of mine, and he was we're in the club, we're in a bar, and there was this real hottie, and she was really into him, and like he was there to get laid, but he just got to the point where he was like too drunk to realize that she really wanted to bang, and it was like, I we ended up bringing, there was a few girls there with him, so we brought them back to a house party, my house, and we yeah, it was just like eventually he just got too drunk, where he wasn't like, he just went up to his room and passed out, and he missed the opportunity to bang a real hottie that was really into him, and that's obviously a con. Um, but the other con is that, in general, like, I've always thought that, like, in nightlife, it's very rare that there'll be a good balance. Usually, the ratio is really really off. Like, because guys are obviously the hornier of the sexes, so we're the ones that go to these clubs to get laid, like, to chase the opposite sex more than women do. Um, and the ratios are oftentimes, it's not very good. Even in clubs and bars, it's usually, for the most part, there's gonna be more men there, and in turn you're just dealing with more men. A lot of guys that, in a room, that are sexually frustrated, and that's why fights happen. That's why there's a lot of aggression sometimes, because Nice Try Governor says they think they are Conor McGregor after a few drinks. Indeed, they do. Also, Chain says Mac is like the Japanese Conor McGregor. Well, I mean, we're cut from the same cloth at least, but it's quite a bit different from that man. But yeah, um, it's crazy to think I'm actually the same age as that man. God damn. But Nice Try Governor says you run into so many loud and annoying females in nightlife. That's another con. I mean, that's another con. I mean, it's not only guys that suffer from the liquid courage; it's also females. It's like, so they'll behave in a way that they wouldn't ordinarily behave, and that can lead to some very annoying situations. I had a girl, very 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 rare situation in Japan for there to be any physical alteration, but in fairness, the girl wasn't Japanese. I was leaving this club, right? I mean, this maybe was a month ago or something. I was leaving this club, and some girl, she just kind of frowned at me, and so I just said, "What's up?" Like, nothing intimidating. It was a stairs. There was a queue down the stairs, if you can imagine. So I'm leaving. I'm going home, and I just said, "What's up?" Like, I didn't even stop to say it, and yeah, so the guy, before she could respond, there's some white knight beside her. I didn't even say it in a threatening manner, by the way. I just literally said, "Wait, what's up?" And some guy just put his right in my face, like, boom, like that, right in my face. And I said, this guy was like zero threat. This guy had liquid courage. This guy was like he was not intimidating in the least. I was way bigger than him. He looked like a Filipino. It was there. It was different weight class. It was, even if he was a very good fighter, still it doesn't matter. Out of his, like, different weight, he was really small dude. Like, and so I felt no threat, no fear whatsoever. Like, if he was a big dude, like, I would maybe, I don't know what I would have done, but I said, dude, like, don't pick fights. Like, you're a different weight class. Like, what are you gonna do? And then he said, let's go outside. I said, come on. Like, it was almost at the door. I was almost at the door. So, oh, come on out, come on out. And then he wouldn't come out. And I said, yeah, you're not gonna come out. So he was wearing a hat. And just because he picked a fight, I wouldn't usually be disrespectful to people, but I like flipped his hat off, just like flipped it off his head, because he's like, he just fucking disrespected me for no reason. Um, and he wasn't willing to come outside. He was the one that suggested it. I was like, come out. What are you gonna do? Like, like this guy would have gotten killed, and like without a doubt. And all of a sudden, this bitch just started like throwing hands at me. I'm just saying I defended myself. I'm not gonna go into details, but it was nothing. Yeah, that was that. But very rare situation. That's another con about nightlife. Just random annoying like people. Um, Oftentimes it is unfortunately to do with alcohol. I mean, I have very good friends. I mean, even back in Ireland, that another con is that you can fall out. You can fall out with your friends. Um, that is a con. You can burn bridges. You can do like I mean, I have some of my best friends back in Ireland. They just shouldn't drink. I mean, just didn't agree with them. But it was like anytime we went out, it was just like wild. Like I mean, you can really fall out with friends. That's another con. But yeah, that's more like alcohol related. Nightlife involves alcohol, so that it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Eltas says once you learn some jujitsu or martial art, you start being more aware of the situations you're in. Yeah, but I know a guy in Japan that he got jumped by some foreigners. He's a foreign guy himself, and he got jumped, and yeah, he was let's just say he knew how to defend himself, and he defended himself, but he went a little too far and gave the guys, I think it was multiple guys, he gave them such a bad beating that he actually got sent to jail in Japan. And the only reason he could stay in Japan was because he had a sibling, not a sibling, a spousal visa. He had like he not he had a child with some Japanese woman. But if he wasn't if he did not have that spousal visa, he would have had to go to jail in Japan, and then he would have been deported when he was released from prison. But they couldn't deport him because he had a spousal visa, and you can't. Once you have that blood connection, they can't kick you out. That's one advantage of having a kid or something. But yeah, but not that I'd want it right now at all. But yeah, so that's the other thing. Even if you don't start fights, you can still get in trouble yourself. That's the other thing. It's bullshit, but that's a fact. He didn't start to fight, but he ended up going to jail because like he beat the guy so bad. It's true story. So yeah, I don't know. You got to pick your battles. Yeah, never. Let's see. Spark 55 says, "Never start the fight, but finish it always." Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then defend yourself. I'd say. Um, yeah, there's no point in killing someone over. I could have killed that guy. Like he started a fight with me. I could have killed him, but I mean, I probably would have gotten in trouble if I actually like did that. But you know, be aware of your surroundings. Defend yourself. Um, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. Am I missing it? Is there any other like cons to nightlife? I mean, there's just the overall. The other con is that a lot of girls actually go out on to bars and clubs to actually to they actually usually go out with their friends. It's kind of in a way it's like because of online dating, a lot of girls are actually not out to like get laid. This is the kind of thing that has happened because of online. A lot of girls they're not actually there to like find a guy. They're kind of just there to dress up, get free attention, and hang out with their girlfriends and show off. Kind of by guys hitting on them, buying them drinks. A lot of girls will just unashamedly milk guys just to buy them drinks. So they'll ask me how I know. I've learned the hard way. You go and you buy a girl a drink and she go, oh thanks, and like bounce off to her friends. Like it's So, like I said, like money shouldn't be an issue, shouldn't be an object. Like if you're looking after your finances, but it's just the fact that you don't want. It's annoying. I mean, it's just annoying. It's like if you go to the trouble of like arranging a date, buying a girl dinner. It shouldn't be about the money. It's just about the fact that she used you. That's what's annoying about it. That's what's annoying about it. So I've had girls do that to me. I've had girls in bars do that to me when I was more blue pilled. I go up, go up to a hottie and let's have a drink. She take the drink and she just bounce immediately. Like she won't even like they won't even talk to you. So, but girls will do that. It's not just me. I've seen that happen 1,000 times in bars. They get their drink and they'll bounce off their friend. Um, MLD says nightlife equals lowest return on investment. I agree. I agree. The thing I like about nightlife is I'm like I'm like a bee to the honey. I like like I said the pro is like you're surrounded by like attractively dressed, scantily clad women. It's nice. I mean, there's not really any other environments where you're going to see that, unless you go to a strip club. A strip club is a better return on investment in a way, but you know, Eltas says, "Don't get finessed," as Myron would say. Yeah, just don't get finessed. I mean, you know, try and read, understand body language, understand, get some. I don't wait for girls to give me signals, but introduce yourself, get a good idea, feel like don't immediately buy a girl a drink. Don't like just go and immediately buy her a drink. I mean, sometimes I'll roll up to a chick and I'll check her out. I'll talk to her for a minute or two to figure out because I think I've gotten very good at over time is being able to read women, just from just from the abundance of experience. So I can kind of sum up what she thinks of me in a minute or less even. So I'm not going to go and immediately buy her a drink and get finessed. I'm going to like see if there's that little spark in her eye. And then if she's a good girl and I see that she has some interest, I might buy her a drink. But that's what I would say. Like try and figure them. Don't immediately buy a girl a drink because you're gonna get finessed. You're just gonna spend all. You're gonna spend like, if you go all up offering girls and they have no interest in you, and you say, "Do you want a drink?" A lot of them will say yes, and like I said, they'll take the drink and they'll bounce. They'll go, "Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go." Or I'll see you later. I have to catch I can't find my friends. One they say is like, I can't find my friends. And they'll run off to their friends. Just don't do it. Don't be an idiot. Don't get finessed. Um, yeah, just don't. The same with first dates. Don't get finessed. Don't take these girls for meals. They haven't earned meals. Like they haven't earned the 3-course meal. Plus, no one wants to bang on a full stomach, as MLD always says. No one wants to bang on a full stomach. I've done it, but I mean, you don't really want to do it. It doesn't create, you don't want to bang on a full stomach full of steak and like, beer and like what dessert. You know what I mean? Um, uh, yeah, but that's pretty much nightlife. I mean, that's it in a bag, That is it in a bag, you know. It can work out, but most times it doesn't, And just online dating has changed things. Um, Elta says the sweetest, nicest girls will accept drinks from you and then take the piss out of you later with their friends. True story. They will. I mean, they oh, that guy got me a drink, and yeah, they'll. It's kind of like the more drinks they get, the more they get hit on. It's more clout for their friend group. It's more like, oh yeah, 10 guys bought me drinks, and or they got into VIP and they'll finesse guys in VIP, and they'll just they'll do that. You don't need to do it, guys. I mean, I'm not saying don't engage in nightlife, but just do it for fun. Do it occasionally. Don't be a weekend warrior. Don't be one of these guys that lives for the weekend and like, I'm not criticizing guys that, what like nightlife, but just I mean if you get laid every time, if it works for you, I'm just saying for guys, even for guys with really good game, it's always not the best ROI. Definitely not. I mean, it's just not. Another thing is the girls. Let's just be honest. The girls that go to clubs and bars they're not. it's not that I care that much about high quality women, but it doesn't bother. Let's just say a lot of them have been around. Been around. Even in Tokyo. Tokyo, massive city, and I've already, there's the same kind of faces in the clubs. Like there's clubs in different parts of Tokyo, all over Tokyo, and it's like I'll recognize the same women. So just understand that they've been honing themselves out. And a lot of these girls are another con is they're jaded as fuck. They've seen such a bag of eggplants that, man, it's kind of like it's like being there, done that. As soon as you approach them, it's like you get that look. They have that look in their eye. It's like being there, done that. I've had 1,000 eggplants. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they've seen too much. They've seen too much action. That's what Um, uh, women's rights was a mistake. Says it's all about looks, money, status, and height. Yeah, I mean nightlife. Obviously, the more Chad you are, the better it's going to be. But even so, if still not a great ROI. There's no doubt about it. With nightlife, the more Chad you are, yeah, the better you'll do. But Sergio says they're numb to it. The 1,000 cocks there, that's it. Like it's just they're numb to it. Like a lot of them are. 100%. Know your worth in the house. Concurs, says agrees with that. 100%. I agree. They got that stare. They got that look. Like when you approach them, they're just like, they're just like, what? Like another one. Like I've already seen a billion eggplants. Like, what do you got to offer? Yeah. So just do it. I would say do in enjoy nightlife, but keep it to once a month at most. Honestly, I would say go out once a month. That's my advice. If at all, like once a month is plenty. That's like 12 times a year. Then but definitely I don't recommend being a weekend warrior. Spending a lot of time, because that means like you go out one night of the weekend, your next day is pretty much like it's gonna be a waste. It's gonna be a throwaway. Like you're not gonna you're just gonna be wrecked. I mean, if you're a drinker, it's definitely gonna be a waste of a day. There's no point in wasting your day. Life, time, and money is the best thing ever. Um, you know, even I was talking to Jairo today, and he didn't drink. He doesn't drink, and like if you don't drink, you can do it, and you can get the best of both worlds. You can enjoy your nightlife, and then your next day is perfectly fine. Um, yeah, and there's a lot of advantage. I'm a real proponent. I very much endorse sobriety. I'm not a fan of drinking. I mean, I very much endorse it. There's so many advantages to it. There is like such a long list of advantages to it. And once you see it like that, once you see that there's so many advantages, it becomes very easy to abstain from getting drunk or drinking. It really does, especially when like there's been a good few times where I've been out sober, and when you actually stone cold sober, you approach and you get a girl home, it's very much feels very good. Like pure sober, you can bang all night and be good to go the next day. No hangover, nothing. You don't even spend that much money. Um, Also, Chain says peacocking is a great tool at clubs. Yeah, you gotta have something like stand out when you're in a club. 100%. If you peacock, if you look a bit different, if you look a little bit standoutish, then that's gonna help a lot for sure. Um, yeah. So I think I'll sum it up with nightlife by saying it's basically it can be fun, it can work out, and we understand the advantages, but yeah, I would say less is better. Let's talk about pros and cons of maybe online. So obviously, what are pros of online is is that all you have to do is swipe, pretty much. Uh, but in saying that, you can spend a lot of like you can infinitely swipe. Um, so that's just because you have to swipe, it doesn't mean it's easy because you can actually waste a lot of time like staring at dating apps, um, and swiping. Like it can be very time wasteful. Um, but then again, it's also it's all like you don't have to waste much energy doing it. You just swipe. Um, but the con of I'm not well, let's talk a bit more about the pros. The pros are that if you have your dating profile, if you're a hot dude and you have your dating profile on point, you can get an extremely high ROI, return on investment, on online dating. It is it can be very rewarding, but then again, the con of it is that you will have to have your dating profile on point, and that means getting really good photos. There's no way about it. Like unless you're like I said at the start of the stream, unless you're one of the like top percentile guys, I'm talking like top 10%, really good looking. I'm definitely not in the top 10%. I would never be ignorant enough to think I am. Like there's way hotter dudes than me. Like I'm not in it. So I understand. I'm one of the guys that will have to uh have a really good profile, really good photos, to have it even a shot. And I consider myself above average, but I don't consider myself in the top. I'm not. I don't. Not even that I consider. I know I'm not. But men are made and women just are. I mean, you can make yourself better, but in term you can only do so much really. Like in terms of aesthetics, I'm working on the aesthetics always. Like I care about fashion and working on my fitness, but I'm talking about the guys that are in the top percentile. I'm not saying they don't work on themselves, but they're maybe genetically gifted. They get the looks, and I'm sure they go to the gym and do put in the other work. But um, it's just the competition is stiff online. That is the con of online dating. You're dealing with a group of women that are extremely deluded as well, that think that they are entitled to the 6'6" chads. Why? Because they can get them. They can get them for sex, not for relationship, but they can. Like girls have access to the top chads. The top chads are absolutely cleaning up online, like cleaning the floor. Um, and that is obviously not ideal because most guys are not in the top percentile. They're not like obviously there's only a top. We all know about hypergamy because of Rollo Tomasi with his classic breakdowns of it. But this is reality. There's insane hypergamy going on with online dating. So yeah, if you're not one of those lucky dudes that has the genetics, you have to work. You still have. You can't just give up. You still have to. You have to like look as best you can. Like not only do you have to look as best you can, but you have to like show that in photos, and you have to have diverse. You have to go to effort. You have to be a bit of a narcissist to get your profile up to date. You'll have to have a variety of different photos with like on point fashion, doing different things that will appeal to women. So you have to understand. You have to understand like what women want, and you have to have a little bit of an aesthetic eye. If you are not one of those like top percent guys, if you're a top percent guy, I'm talking like top 10%, even top 5%, you could just take a selfie and you're gonna have like a lot of you're gonna get like you'll do fine. So if you're one of those guys, good on you. Good, keep using online. It's fine. You're just lucky. But like I said, 90% of guys are not like that. So I can assume that there's most people in this chat are not, in that percentile, or maybe there is one or two, but I do not know. But so yeah, that is obviously a con. But yeah, so the pros are that yeah, you can basically just swipe on your phone, you know, introduce yourself, talk a little bit, and invite them directly to your house, and that can happen, and that has happened to me plenty of times. But it's just not very. You have to deal with an insane amount of rejection online too. So that's not good for your ego. Dealing with that kind of rejection. Um, Obviously, you have to understand. Like, you have to understand that water off a duck's back. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. But it can get annoying when you get rejected that often. And I'm a guy that it works. I get laid online. I get chicks, but I I it's difficult to get the like I would say I get the I get, let's just say, when it feels like when I get the toppers, like really hot chicks on it, it's like I'm getting the ones that slip through the net. So the vast majority of hot chicks online I do not match with. And you know that's I'm just being straight up front. So I'll generally match with like average, like sixes, sevens, like eights, nines, and tens. Very hard to match with online for me. And like I said, I consider I'm not I don't suffer from lack of confidence. I know I'm above average guy. I'm 6'1". I'm physically very fit. I care about how I look. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not below average. But still, it's very hard to it's very hard to get with the top percentile. But occasionally it happens. It's like I said, it's like there's falling through the net. So it's frustrating in that regard. That's the con of online dating. That frustration of, like, I know I should be getting with a girl I'm worthy of a girl like this, but online it's you're just gonna deal. You're gonna the delusion. They have access. Imagine, just put yourself in their shoes. They have access to these guys, and they get deluded easily because they think, because these guys will bang them. They think that they'll eventually bag one and get a relationship out of them. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Just not. Guys are designed to spread the seeds. So even these alpha dudes, the top percentile, good looking model, chisel jaw dudes, they're just, they'll smash and dash. It's called pump and dump. It's like, oh, she's not really that good looking, but she's coming over. She's willing to come over and Netflix and chill with me. So bring her around. Bring her around on Monday. I'll have another one on Tuesday. I'll have my 10 on Wednesday. So that's what's going on, guys. That's the harsh reality. Like it or lump it. I'm sorry, but that's what's happening. So usually when I online works for me, I get like sixes, sevens. It's all right. They come around, but it's got as long as I get my bit. But yeah, I think online's pretty straightforward. I think I've covered it. You don't need to talk about it too much. Straightforward. You gotta make your profile, like, you gotta make it legit. Like, you gotta put in effort, and if you do, it can be rewarding. I mean, I've had some crazy good times from online. Um, Really good, like, very memorable. Let's just say very memorable bedroom fun, and yeah, so it is worth it. It is worth it putting in the effort. Get someone to take your photos. You know, just put in the effort. It'll work out. Mark Solo in the house. What is good? Hope you're well, man. Hope you're well. I loved your trip to Afghanistan. Look pretty dope. Or Pakistan. Looked pretty cool, man. It was shooting those guns. Crazy shit. Yeah. Also, Chains says globalized sexual market has increased competition. Oh, ours, yeah, man. Competition is up there, man. Definitely, definitely with online. Uh, Nice try, Governor says, unless you look like Giga Chad, most hot girls won't match with you online. It is what it is. It is what it is. The Giga Chads are cleaning up online, and and that is a fact. And it's nice, you know. It is what it is. I mean, I know when I use online, I know what I have to do. I know I don't even think I'm maximizing my online uh, appearance or presence. Um, I know I could improve on it, and it would probably be worth doing it. You should like up your. A good way to look at online is you should literally update your profile about 4 times. If you're going to do it, you should do it like 4 times a year. So basically, every season you should delete your online profile and download it again. Like delete your profile, download it again, and upload new photos so you're fresh to the algorithm, and that you have a new set of photos. Like I'm talking like that's the kind of effort you need to do if you're an average guy or even above average guy. Like let's say you're 5, 6, 7. Like you have to do that. You have to do it. If you want to get hot chicks on it, you have to do that. I'm sorry. It is what it is. If you're a dude, if you're a Chad like 8, 9, or 10, it might be a little easier for you. Life's not fair. Fuck it. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, like I said, it can be worth it. Mark Sola says cold approach, Instagram, dating apps. Yeah, cold approach is really where it's at. You know, uh, Instagram's also a good one. Um, but yeah, guys, I mean, cold approach is that's Mac the day gamer. That's what I do. Like that's how I like. John gave me the idea. John MLD was like, yo, he saw me do it, and I was like, I didn't, I knew it's just something I did. I got into, and it was amazing when I first started doing it. It was like, wow, this is a whole new source. This is like, when you first start getting with hot girls from cold approach, it's like, oh man, there's like, how did not I didn't realize this was possible, and like it's like real world encounters, like you know are very you can actually punch above your weight, like because it's just not a lot of guys do it. So the pros, like right off the bat, the pros of cold approach, let's talk about day game now. Like the pros of cold approach are that you can punch above your weight. There's no two ways about it. You can get with girls that are out of your league. Like you can do it. Why? Because things are just different in real life, in daily life. Day game, it's different from night game. It's different from all that. It's different from online because it's like it's real life. Like you're presenting yourself in a confident, calm, composed, cool manner in some like random spot like a park or a cafe or anything. It's almost like a girl's fantasy. They want to get approached like that. They've seen all these Hollywood movies. They see like romantic situations, and they see some dude approach like a night. Like if you're well put together and you're composed and you're confident, like they'll be into it. Whereas if you approach the same girl in a nightclub, like it might not be the same. If you same girl, say she's like an 8 out of 10, pretty damn hottie, right? So if you approach her in a nightclub, her guard is going to be high. It's going to be high up, and she's going to be around her friends, and she's going to be thinking, oh, all these guys. You're just going to be another one of those guys that approach her. But if you approach her in the daytime, you're almost guaranteed to be the only guy that hit on her on that day. You'll stand out, even if she doesn't. Even if she doesn't give you her number, she's still going to remember that you hit on her. She's still going to remember that you approached her. She's not going to forget that. She's going to remember that some guy approached her and said something. You know what I mean? So you just stand out. That's a pro. Like, what else do you need to know? Like, it's like you get girls that are out of your league in day game. It's just like you can. I've done it. So I've done it. I've gotten girls from day game where it has felt like that she's out of my league, but I never let them. The thing is, you can't let them. You don't let them. That's a skill about day game. That's a skill about having the confidence that you can only build up over time with experience. Is that even though you might feel inside that they're out of your league, um, you don't show them that because you don't really care. Even though you know they're super hot, you don't give them that respect. Like it's not that you're disrespecting them, but you're not putting yourself down. You're not like, oh my god, she's out of my league. Like I'm gonna mess this up, and you're choking, and she's gonna be turned off immediately. Obviously, if you're like coming up to her nervous, and she's gonna know that she's out of your league. Um, you know what I mean? I always use this like comparison, but like just think about it. Would Sean Connery like back in it? Can you imagine him like in 007 or whatever? Is going to be a scene of him being all like choking up, being nervous around a hot woman. No, he just goes in there and owns it. Like, just gets it. You know what I mean? Like you got to see yourself as that like unshakable, confident guy, like like unshakable, like cool as a cucumber, like just nothing can shake you. No matter how hot they are, it's just like you're entitled. Like you can get any of them. You're as good as the other guy. So why can't I get some too? You gotta feel like that. Why can't I'm gonna get some too. Like I mean, we only live once. Um. So yeah, it's like it's just without a doubt, it's just a good it's just an amazing way to source women. Um. Cons cons maybe cons are it's like it involves effort. It involves exertion of your effort to go and approach someone. But you have to build up the courage. If like, what's the worst that can happen? But I don't, but a lot of guys, it is intimidating for guys to approach a girl in daytime, and it's intimidating. I don't know why it is intimidating. Maybe it must be some evolutionary thing. Must be some evolutionary thing where from back in the day it was maybe very dangerous to approach a girl, or um, probably was dangerous back in the day because of tribes and approach a strange girl that isn't in your tribe or whatever. Probably was dangerous. So maybe that's an evolutionary reason that guys get like nervous. Like there's a nervousness about approaching a girl that they don't know in date. So it involves a con is it involves like you going out of your way to like go and approach a girl and having to start up a conversation. And the thing about cold approach is a lot of guys don't realize that it doesn't have to it doesn't have to take up that much time. It doesn't have to. Some guys think that they think day game involves having to spend all this time. Maybe I'm gonna have to carry a conversation for like 10 or 20 minutes, and they say it as this kind of mountain to climb. It's like, no, like some of my best approaches, some of the like you know a lot of not some, but a lot of the approaches I've done where I ended up being successful, getting them back home and banging were like 2 minutes, like just in, make an introduction, tell them that I think they're cute or whatever. Tell them that I want to have a drink with them sometime. Do they have Line? Do they have like WhatsApp? Do they have Instagram? Exchange that, and you just message them later. And there's been so many times where that's probably the vast majority of my cold approaches were that, like where I didn't have this like long conversation with them. It was like 2 3 minutes at most, maybe. Um, you know, it can be a thing where it can be, like I said, over. Yeah, like you don't have to waste a lot of time doing it. I mean, you can. It depends on the vibe. I mean, there's been other times where it's like I have free time, or like I these days I don't usually do it because I'm usually, my style of day game now is like I just kind of incorporate it into my life. So I used to go out and kind of maybe do day games specifically, but now it's part of my lifestyle. So I usually don't have time to just go and have a coffee with a chick, because I usually have something planned to do, and I'll just do day game on my way somewhere. Just because luckily, if you're in a big city, there's just like gonna be a lot of chicks on your route, on the trains, on the street, like wherever. So you can just do approaches so many places, and it's a better way for me. Like I enjoy the fluidity of it, like, and like it feels really good when you just like immediately act on impulse. Like you take action, you don't hesitate, because hesitation is like it's very goofy. It's like kind of, there's something like, even if they don't see you hesitate, you know that you hesitated. So you should just, if you see a girl, if she smiles, or even if she doesn't, a lot of the girls I approach, they don't give me any indicators of interest. It's just like I see them, might not even have seen me, and so I'm not one of those guys that waits for indicators of interest. I'll go in, shoot my shot, and that's the way you should do it. That's our job. Like, there's not, women won't do it. Like, it's not their job to do that. As men, that's what we have to do. Unfortunately, like, you might not like it, but that's just the way it is. Like, we have to pursue. We are the hunters, you know, and that's the way. That's why we're here now. I mean, how many of us would exist if our fathers didn't approach? Not many. I'd say very few. Um, and it's just, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So I don't know. I'm gonna say, like, the you know the highest, the most success you're gonna have is with getting good at cold approach. Like, if you think about the ratio, like in terms of swiping, I know it's very little effort. You just swipe, but it's going to be, compare that to, like, you, let's just say you don't have to approach, you like, if you have basic skills in day game, you're not going to have to approach 100 chicks in order for one success, unless you're really bad at it. You might be at the start, but over time, even if you're not a hot dude, it's still going to be, you're going to have greater success. You're not going to have to do 100 approaches. If you're really bad at it, you might, but eventually you're going to get good. Just start doing it, incorporate it into your life, so that the success rate is a lot higher. Yeah, and you're choosing the girls. You're only approaching girls that that you like physically, and I don't know. I like it. I think it's the best one. Um, a little more, it's more effort than online, but then again, when you consider having to, the way you have to structure your online profile and care about your photos and all this, um, it's not bad at all, guys. Eltas says cold approach is hard and it takes nerves because you can't show fear. If you can make eye contact, you can certainly increase your chances. Indeed. It takes nerves. It takes a little bit of effort. But if you can develop that natural confidence, it's man, hella worth it. Hella worth it. And it's very satisfying. Feels very. Even though your goal is to do some degenerate shit, like, it feels very wholesome. Even though I'm not a wholesome guy, but listen, we're all, you know what I mean. If you get what I'm trying to say, like, when you do day game, it doesn't feel sleazy. It feels natural. It feels real. I mean, but anytime I'm in a nightclub, it feels like, man, this is like dirty, and like, I don't know, all these people are like just nasty, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel as good. Um, Spark 55. I used to always make BS excuses, but I got sick of it, and only after 3 attempts got a number. Some people just overthink it. Yeah, overthinking it is not. There's no reason to overthink it. You just have to take action. Yeah, you read about it, like, learn about different approaches, but the reality is, you just roll up, like, say what's up, try and get a number, say it. It's not rocket science, but yeah, guys, before I cut it, I'm just gonna show some. Speaking of nightlife, advantages of nightlife. Let me share some screen. Let me share. Okay. So yeah, so I don't know. These are all Japanese girls, but This I would like to go to a nightclub that had this going on. So, who wants to come to Japan? Put a one in the chat if you want to come to Japan after seeing that video. But yeah, like I mean, that's obviously, you know, that kind of nightlife is always fun. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's so funny. Before I came to Japan, I never thought, I never realized that Asian girls could be this hot. I always, to be honest, I always thought white girls were hotter, but like, uh, when Asian girls have a nice body, they certainly have a nice body. Um, it's like a, you can find there's a kind of stereotype that Japanese or Asian girls don't have booties, but and it's true to an extent, but you can certainly find ones that with spectacular booties. Like you can find them. They are out there for sure, and it's very nice when you do find them. You know, I take that anytime. Yeah, guys. Good. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Nice try, Governor agrees. I definitely prefer Asian girls. Yeah, I just like hot girls. I mean, I live here in Japan now, so yeah, obviously I like I've kind of maybe I don't know. I still like hot girls and any race or ethnicity, but it's hard. It's tough competition. Like these girls are so feminine. I don't know the effort they put in. Like they could be like a 6 or 7, but they become an 8 or 9 when they just the effort they put into their maintenance. Like they'll have their nails done. They'll have laser hair removal all over their body. They'll a lot of girls can't compete with that. Like, just the sheer effort. Um, good times indeed. But yeah, when things open up, if you don't believe me, come over here. Come over here when for a trip. I'll show you around Tokyo. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna cut it there. But I'll be back tomorrow night for another episode of Player Life. Have a good one, guys. Peace out. Bye bye.